It looks like Gigi's trying to take over my meeting.
Yeah, Gigi, you're showing your screen.
Yeah.
Gigi, stop sharing your screen.
I was wondering, Ella, what was going on there.
I know, me too. I'm like, what is this? All right, I'm gonna have to cut her out. I'm gonna have to.
Ella, how many people are watching now?
37 so far.
Excellent.
And I'm still getting Gigi stuff. She needs to.
You didn't. You need to shut it down. No, Gigi, you need to shut off completely. It's got the whole thing screwed up. You exit everything, and then you can sign back onto the meeting.
There we go.
All right, we're back.
Good morning, Moody.
Doug is muted
And Ella is.
and Ella's muted.
I'm here.
Moody, can you hear us? Well, we can't hear him.
Hey, Ella, okay, as long as it's not that you will mute it. Oh, okay.
We'll wait another minute or two for Jim, and then we may have to move on.
There's Doug.
Morning, Doug.
Good morning. How are you?
Awake.
Good.
Ella, you're muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yep.
ma'am.
All right.
Everybody's good.
Okay.
Moody, can we hear Moody? No, we can't hear him.
Hold on. Everybody needs to stop playing with your screens. Okay. All right. I got a couple people I got to kick out. Got a video one.
I don't think it's gonna come up at all. At least not, it may come up, it went, let's see, it went down 600 points yesterday and what, up 500 the day before. So it's just hanging in there about 23,000. And I don't see it going up. If anything, I see it going down.
Dang. Hold on. But somebody keeps messing with the screen. I don't know who's doing it, but it keeps kicking me out. All right.
My
I think
hands.
we're, okay, good to go. I think we're good to go now.
Moody, can we hear you? He said,
He's
I
not-
don't, he said, I don't think so.
He's
Is
not,
he is he muted on his laptop or on
he's
his?
unmuted. Can you hear me, Moody? I've got him unmuted, so I don't know it's on his side.
It may be muted on his keyboard.
Moody, can you hear me? I can see you
He's
talking.
Yeah,
Okay, we need to get started. It's 5 after, so well,
well, we need to have Moody be able to say something.
I can't change it. I've changed it all I can do, so he may just have to raise his hand when he goes to vote, because
How about Moody? Can we have Moody go out and come back in and try it again?
He can try that.
He can dial in on his phone.
Yeah.
Or dial in on his phone? Well, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order while Moody maybe gets his audio fixed. And welcome to all the council people and our city members and all our internet attendees. We're so pleased that we're having so many people clue into our meetings. We had over 80 people at our first meeting in March, which I thought was fabulous. So we're pleased with that. We know this isn't the ideal way to hold a meeting, but it beats not having a meeting. I'm going to start with an invocation. I read an invocation by a lady by the name of Barbara Glasson. She is the president of the United Methodist Conference. I loved it, and I have changed it to fit Sky Valley. I hope she doesn't mind, but it matches Sky Valley's actions and philosophies, I think. We are not people of fear. We are people of courage. We are not people who protect our own safety. We are people who protect our neighbors and friends and our community. We are not people of greed. We are people of generosity. We are people of God, giving and loving for as long as it takes. We are people who will get this, we will get through this. We ask God to bless our beloved valley, our state, our nation, and the world. And I think that pretty much sums up what
Amen.
Sky Valley is all about. Amen is right. All right, now it's time for the adoption of the agenda. Do I hear a motion to accept the agenda as written?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Bruce made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Morley made a second. Now, is there any discussion? All right, do I hear a motion to accept it? Let's have a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the motion, thank you, Ed, for raising your hand. All opposed signify by saying nay. All right, it is carried. Okay, now it's mayoral remarks, and I'm going to try to keep it short. I want to, first of all, thank everybody for attending, like I said before. Tomorrow is National Administrative Professional Day, so I'd like to thank the ladies in our City Hall office who work very hard to help us do our job and to do well by our city. So thank you, Ella, Karen, and Alyssa, for all that you do for Sky Valley. We really appreciate it. And tomorrow, a council fairy will be visiting you with a small gift of our appreciation. It's going to be a diamond tennis bracelet for each one of y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Miss Fleming, do not put that into the notes, please. Thank you.
So noted.
So noted. Thank you. Thank you, Karen, for taking notes. We appreciate it. Thank you also to the Public Works Department that really jumped on the erosion difficulties that we were having last week. They did a fantastic job of shoring that all up, and we appreciate it. And thank you, Ed Morley, for bringing that to our attention. Okay. Anybody else, any councilman want to make any comments at this point about this? Okay. New business. Well, really, it's not really new business. I think I should have titled it Renew Business. So these are items that many of them are items that I have been asked for by our citizens. So I thought it would be good for us to renew them, and if necessary, discuss any of these items. Let's start with the first, which is, Ella, if you'll instruct the citizens online on how to make comments and ask questions for this
Right,
meeting, that would be great.
Okay, all right, and I'll just go through my remarks and report too. The first
That'd be
thing
great.
that we have is if you want to make comments, if you'll just share at the bottom of the screen as a chat, you would just need to type in your comments. Due to the fact that we have so many people participating, we cannot allow everyone to have audio. Otherwise, we just get a jumbled mess when we go back to review this. So we just ask you to do that, and we will address them as we can, hopefully, because everyone participating can see your notes. The next one we have is reference to the decision on the pickleball court usage. As you know, Governor Kemp yesterday is opening some things back up. This is particularly not one that he has opened. Due to the social distancing, it is requested that this remain closed until the 13th. And to my knowledge, all the courts in Rabun County are continue to be closed, and also Hiawassee is closed as well. So just want to make note of that, and once we get the clearance, we'll get that open. The next item on the city manager's report is the progress on the increased bear activity and who to contact. If you have any bear activity, please dial 911. And this also goes into another item that I have on my report, that it is in reference to 911 procedures. Where you previously were able to just dial the police department directly, we have since asked everyone to dial 911 because previously there was no recording or no way to track the calls that we're getting. So we asked everyone to call the 911. And if it is a non-emergency, the number to call is 706-782-7777. So we're asking everyone to continue to do that as well. The next item is a reminder of bird feeders. Due to our bear ordinance, we are requesting that all bird feeders should be up. The deadline was April the 15th, so we're well past that. So we're asking that all bird feeders be up, bird food be up due to our bear activity. The other item is garbage and recycle. As you know, we approved for this to all be on Monday. Just want to remind people to make sure your items are out by 8 a.m. in the morning. The guys are doing their best to pick up what they can. It's really made things much better for Public Works because they don't have to break off another crew on Thursday to go back to do recycle. And we've had really positive comments about this. The other item is the ditch maintenance. I just want to give you a report. This was what Holly was making reference to. The Public Works Department has a list of a total of 39 roads, and to date they have completed 23 roads with 16 remaining. That means that 59% of the road ditches, that's actually the ditches, are complete with 41% remaining. I just want to give James and his crew a shout out because they've done a fabulous job on this. They went above and beyond, and I've heard comments like this is the best the ditches have ever looked. So I just want to give them kudos for that. Also too, the next item is the report on the website. I've talked with Jessica. She's 90% complete. We hope to be up and running sometime next week. Once that is ready to go, I'll send out an email blast to let everyone know what is going on with that and send you a link to that so we can let everyone know what's happening with it. The next item is the codification of ordinances. As you know, at our last regular council meeting, we had this on the agenda, but it was not approved. My understanding is that Doug has made the recommendation now that at our next meeting, we put this on the agenda for approval to move forward with this, because I need this piece of the puzzle complete to put this on the new website. So I'm asking people to consider that as well. The next item is the Raven County Emergency Agreement with Municipalities. As you know, in August of 2019, we completed our response through Raven County. And as of the first of the year, you all agreed to sign our agreement that we have with them. This just comes in, say, like, for instance, if we have to provide information in reference to if we have a natural disaster or anything like that, we have the ability to work with the county, and they will help us to move forward with this. Also, the next item is I was asked to report on the requirements for monthly rentals on the tax returns. Anyone that has this, you need to register with the state first of all, and you are required to file a quarterly report with the state, but you're also required to file a monthly report with the city. And at this time, I believe we have 35 that are currently filing those. So, and so far so good. We've not had any trouble with this, and I believe people are really, moving forward and trying to keep up. And as you know, the temporary leasing of property has not been lifted. That was one thing the governor did not release as of yesterday. So we just want to make sure we're doing that. And in other words, in reference to the COVID-19, I would still stress, due to the age of our population here, that you all still continue your stay at home until May the 13th. May the 13th is what the governor has requested. I see I have a couple of chats. Let me see what questions I have here. Let's see, I have another thing to provide the non-emergency number. Okay, the emergency number is 706-782-7777. Let's see, the other thing, Carla was saying the state does not require quarterly per my instructions with the state. That's what I'm showing. I have another thing, somebody's telling me to slow down. Imagine that. Okay, I think that's all I have right now.
There was one,
So.
Ella, there was one about codification, and what is that?
Oh, okay, the codification is the ordinances. It's the city ordinance that are currently jumbled mess on the current website, the old website. And what we have done is that the previous council had approved for, they had approved information for us to move forward with getting all this online through municipal code. We actually have our code books in hand. They have completed the codification of our ordinances. Understand there's a couple, there's been quite a few that we were not able to include because they were unconstitutional. I know there were some questions about that, and to my knowledge, I believe Doug and Jim have made contact. I'm not sure. They'll have to say that, but we're ready to move forward because it has to be approved by council to be able to get this online. So, and I really want this up and going so I can put it on the website.
Ella, you got another chat there?
Yeah, it's Carla. Carla's saying they don't have to file a quarterly return. She said she can provide me that information. I'll double check with that and have something sent out about that today. And she's wanting to know also, can we petition so the city council today to have this changed to a monthly? Our current ordinance and our legislation did not allow us to do it quarterly. When it was submitted to legislators, it was approved to do it monthly. Unless we want to go back through legislation to have this changed, we would have to do that, to have it changed. It would just not be, just to change it from quarterly. And if you're going to do that, normally what happens is you start going up.
Ella, do have a rental property, and I'm filing my state quarterly, and I've not gotten any information that I should change that to annually, so.
Well, that's what the state website is showing, because I looked at it the other day. So if Carly's got some additional information, if she can provide it, I'll be glad to pass it along. But what I'm showing on their website is quarterly. I agree, Nudie.
That'd be great if Carl would share that with you and we'll take a look.
Okay, all right.
So, Ella, for clarification, to change our ordinance, we have to go to the Georgia legislature?
Yes, ma'am. If you decide you want to increase this, or if you want to change this, this would require legislative approval.
Okay. All right, at this point, any of the city council members wish to make any remarks, discussions, or questions on what Ella has just presented?
Ella,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned the bear incident.
Uh-huh.
And someone asked me the other day if bears are coming in our homes. And was there anything about this incident that would, put people's minds to rest in terms of, well, why was it that house? Was it, in the neighborhood of previous incidents, or was this just?
Yes, it was. It was at a previous location. We have several, as you all know, and that's one reason we passed the bear ordinance last year. We had several people that were continuing to feed the bears and providing food. What bears are creatures of habit. DNR has confirmed this. They come back to where they know they can get food, and that's what happened with this year. They had previously got food in that proximity. They came back and knew exactly where to go. And
Okay.
it was a mama and two cubs, and she knew, she needed to feed her baby, so she did what she thought she needed to do that. So, yes. That's the problem. People need to understand how serious this is, and that if you continue to use your bird feeders and continue to leave your grills dirty and not clean them up to remove all debris, make sure garbage is picked up. There's several things that people can do.
Okay, so the take home from this is that bears are not randomly breaking into homes. This was a sort of a continuation of last year's.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Oh, Ella, I recall the emergency agreement that we signed with Raven County, but I was somehow getting caught up in your introduction, and I didn't catch the take home, the reason that we were talking about it.
Well, the mayor had asked me to reiterate it. I'm not sure if it had to do with the weather or what's going on. She had just asked me to discuss it. I guess due with the current COVID-19, the county had declared the state of emergency as well as the state. So when you're in a state of emergency, you rely back on these agreements to, like if you need to file for any type of emergency funding, you have this agreement in place that allows you to do that.
Thank you.
That was it. Thank you, Ella. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussions on?
Holly, I have a couple of items to discuss and a suggestion on some of these issues. Maybe Ella, if you could pause after each of the issues just to see if there's any questions on that specific issue.
Okay.
Just a suggestion, like with the pickleball, I've been approached by a couple of people asking why those persons that are living in the same household, why they wouldn't be able to play, which is a reasonable request. The difficulty with that though is how do you monitor and control it? But I don't think we've got another week or so here to go. So let's just see how much things open up in Georgia, and we may want to go back and revisit that. You mentioned the police 911, and I think that's good to educate our folks about that. But one of the things that's, if someone goes to the website right now, it doesn't have that new number on it. So a suggestion maybe is the next newsletter, which will probably be coming out shortly. Maybe you can also repeat that to.
I will. I'll
in that
make sure.
message.
I'll make sure that's in there because I have some other items too that we're going to include in there as well.
Okay. And another comment was made to me, and maybe something that you could consider. When we have issues in the state that require that we put the flags at half mast, maybe we could put out a little bulletin on that to let the people know why they're at half mast. I think recently we had a state legislature or someone in the state of Georgia that died, but people were asking me. And
Yeah, I didn't know either. I came to work the next morning and it was, I'm like, what is this? So, yeah, we can do that. We can certainly do that. That just takes we'll just send out a brief snippet. Flags are at half staff due to, an executive order, or because sometimes the governor does it, sometimes the president does it.
Exactly. And regarding the website, I think we're to understand right now it's being delayed a little bit. The people that were doing it are getting bombarded, I guess, with COVID-19 type work. But I guess my question is, if we're looking at another month or so, maybe we should go in and update the old website with some of the pertinent details, like how to contact the existing council, the police emergency number, and things like that.
Okay.
In your comment about codification of ordinances, and other council members can chime in too. I think Jim did a really nice job of going through a lot of information. But the long and the short of it is, I think, as Doug suggested, I agree. We need to go ahead and approve this so that we can get it published or approve it at our next council meeting. And then as I think Doug referred to it, as we can tinker with some of the issues that Jim has brought up, we can have some meetings between you and Jim or others to agree on what things need to be corrected, and then we'll put those in the form of some proposals to make those changes. And that's it for my comments.
Okay.
Any other comments from any of the other council?
I understand about the pickleball courts. I understand that the bathrooms are still locked. Are we going to unlock the public restrooms?
Yeah, we can go ahead and unlock those, that, just for safety of, employees that are cleaning those. We, just wanted to make sure we're well beyond, having any problems with that. But yeah, we'll go ahead and open those up. We can get those done. I don't know that, are we getting a lot of people walking at this point? I know the weather's warming up and people are moving around. So
yeah, some days there are.
yeah, what we can do, we can open up just one of them or something at this point. We'll be good with that. Okay, we'll do that.
Fine. I mean, I've noticed early this winter, I noticed a lot of people, tradesmen as well as citizens, stopping off at the restrooms and, shaking their head and,
Well, we have to close them during the winter because of bursting the pipes. We have to cut the water off, so we have to do that. That's why they're closed during the winter.
Okay, great. Thank
Because
you.
we can't run those little heaters in there 24/7. It'll burn the buildings down.
Okay.
They just won't function properly.
Okay. And on another matter, I just wanted to say thank you. I noticed that some work has been done in the park area. The horseshoe posts are up, and that area has been policed up a little bit. We finally emptied the doggy bag repository, which badly needed. So thank you for getting that much of the park.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, and I ask that be checked too on a weekly basis because that doesn't need to stay there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Any other comments? Okay, let's move on to the committee reports. As most of you know, we initiated the committees in Sky Valley, and we have several committees that are working hard already. First of all, we have our landscaping advisory group who are composed of 4 master gardeners, and they have been working with our professional landscaper, Mark Wanamaker, and have come up with a progressive plan to help make our front entrance, our post office, and our city hall look better. If you all drive by these areas, I think you will see that they've made some improvements. Now, this is an ongoing plan. Of course, the money that we had in the budget is not adequate to do everything that we want to do. So it's going to be a progressive plan, but I think everybody's going to be really pleased with what they have planned. If you would like to volunteer, or if you would like to talk to the committee chairman of the landscaping committee is Debbie Dalhouse Curtis, and she'll be glad to talk to you and take your suggestions. They also have made a choice for some trees that we're going to plant in the city for Arbor Day and for Earth Day. So we'll get back with you on when all that takes place. Thank you, landscaping people. Our next committee is the Mayoral Advisory Committee. Bill Oliver is our chairman, and they had their first meeting the other day, and we had quite a few people in internet land, as I call it, participating with us. Bill, do you want to kind of give a description, a purpose and mission of your committee, and give us a little report on what happened at your first meeting?
Sure. Really, the purpose of the committee is to take a look at some major potential projects or past recommended projects or new initiatives. Really, as past councils, past administrations over the years have done, some of these keep resurfacing. So, you know, at the beginning of this, we really wanted to talk about revisit those, just to see if there's any consideration for moving forward with those, or if there are other ideas that would come out from the committee and other residents. You know, the overall purpose is not to make any decisions, but to come up with a recommendation back to the mayor and the council of how we might want to proceed. And the other key point of that is we need all the citizen input that we can get. Because at the end of the day, the overall overarching goal here is to do things that benefit our citizens, not to do things that just benefit commercial development or, you know, any other entity. So it's all about us as citizens and what's the best thing to ensure that Sky Valley continues to be prosperous and we can continue to maintain all the great city services going forward. So that's the general idea with this thing. There were 3 major topics that we talked about. Harrison Merrill has resurfaced with a master plan proposal that's been discussed and shared. We're doing some more fact finding there. There's some consensus of what we might want to pursue with him and what we might not want to pursue with him. But again, it's real early in the conversation. There's a lot of fact finding going on with that. The other part was the sewer, which keeps coming up, and whether or not that is something that needs to be pursued, doesn't need to be pursued. What are the pluses and minuses? And so there's some work going on now to update the survey that was done prior and talk with the county and really, you know, kind of figure out a little bit more about the background there and where we are exactly. And again, is that something that's needed or not? And then there was a short conversation about the building on 246 and looking more into what we should do with that building. Thank you, Ella, for sending over that past information. That'll be very helpful.
Welcome.
so that we can get fully up to speed on their original intentions and costs, et cetera. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to just kind of stay status quo on these things. You know, I think it is a worthwhile endeavor to take these items and kind of resurface them, go through them, you know, get as much input as we can from everybody, and try to make good, positive recommendations to our mayor and the council. Again, on what will benefit our citizens the most. So that's a quick update.
Thank you, Bill. That was great. Another committee that we set up is the marketing committee, and their first meeting was held this past week, I believe, or last week, yes. And this was just a setup committee meeting to nominate possible candidates to be representative on this marketing committee. And so that will be brought to the council on Tuesday to approve these members, and then we can get started with that. Our next committee is our special projects committee, and our chairperson is Bruce Turner. Bruce, would you please talk a little bit about what this committee is all about and give us a glimmer of what this committee is thinking about doing?
Will do. Over the past several weeks, people have come to me, to our mayor, and to our council as requested to give us some ideas of what you'd like to see change, improve in our city. Our mayor collected probably 20, 25 of these items, and our committee prioritized 4 or 5 items that we could pursue. There were some items on the list that, because of our lockdown, would be prohibitive right now. But we came up with a list of about 12 items that we're going to pursue in the next several months. Some of them are going to need funding. Some of them we may be able to pursue now. Some of the items, or the items that we came up with, the committee, maintain the walking path and associated park. And I think it seems like that's ongoing and has been ongoing, but it's going to be something that maybe we can poke and prod to see as the city starts to open up, if and what we can accomplish in that respect. A dog park, these kind of go hand in hand with water, bowls, shade, bench, just a little something to improve that area, make it have a little more functional in the future. Another item, enforce the 9/11 address numbering for all Sky Valley residents. I spoke with Ella briefly about that, and I think she, is there a packet, Ella, that you are going to send out so that everybody can conform to the 9/11 signage for the residents?
No, we can, yes, sir. We can actually include that in the upcoming Sky Valley Times that we're doing. I can send that sheet out that tells everyone who they need to make contact with the county to get that sign done, and because they will actually install the sign as well, so they don't have to install it.
Yeah, that was another question I was asked. Do we install or do they? So that's good information. Another item that was highlighted was front entrance lighting that would comply with the Georgia night sky to improve the visibility coming in to Sky Valley from both sides of Mud Creek Road. It seems to be a lot of conversation about at nighttime. It's very difficult. Sometimes you blow by it, and if it's something that we could kind of put in our sites to see what and if we can install there, and see what kind of funding it would require. Clean the mildew off the Sky Valley stone signs. There's one on 246, and there's two of them. I think one on Mud Creek. Just pressure wash them, and get with the landscaping folks and see how we can improve the appearance of both those signs coming into Sky Valley, to help tie into the marketing of Sky Valley going forward. Those are two of the two signs that are first impressions coming into Sky Valley. So those are a couple things that we're going to see if we can make happen, and see what kind of cost and what we need to do to pursue funding. Also, ongoing clean garbage on the streets in Sky Valley and coming into Sky Valley. I guess that's ongoing, and it seems like we're seeing an improvement on that already. The timeshare areas, the area over by the dam, the basketball courts, the swings, horseshoe boxes, are looking pretty tired. Had a lot of communication about that. They're shut down until May 31st. But we must find a way to work with them and make that happen. I've heard people say, well, that's not the city's problem, but it's the first thing you see coming into Sky Valley. So it's an issue I think the city, timeshare, the club, everyone involved would benefit, making that a more attractive area, and a first impression coming in. Painting the timeshare building is another thing. A lot of feedback on that. That's looking tired and needs to be improved. Another communication was if we could add a couple electric vehicle stations, as we're starting to see more and more electrical vehicles on the road. I've heard a lot of input that there's places in Clayton that the proprietors saying it's really helped their business having a station there. So it might be something we want to look at, and if it's feasible, and if so, where. I don't know how long it takes a car to charge up, but I think it's something probably worth looking into. And the last one on this list of 12 is identify some common areas in and around Sky Valley on both sides of the road that we can improve, put some basic landscaping. One of the examples that I had sent out was the Big Rock at LaBelle and Ridgepole. It's kind of a iconic area that's like when you're giving directions, but the area around it is rough looking. And that's only one that's been identified, but if we could, going forward, identify some of these areas that would improve the overall appearance of visitors and our residents, and make them proud of the area that we live in. Those are the main areas and the priorities that we have established at present. I sent out a request for the committee members to let me know with a week advance when it's convenient for us to meet in time, so we can start molding this and see what's the best path forward in implementing all these items. And that's pretty much it, Holly.
Thank you, Bruce. That's great. Bill, I forgot to ask you to report on when your next committee meeting has been planned for.
Friday, 5/1 at 10 a.m.
Okay, thank you. And Bruce, you'll let us know, and Ella will send out the agenda and the invite for your meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Bruce.
Madam
All right,
Mayor.
our last but not our last but not least committee is, we're calling it our Public Works Infrastructure Committee, and the chairperson of that is Moody. Moody, I will have you do a report on what you're working on right now, because that's our next item on the agenda, which is old business, which is the emergency road progress. So if you'll kind of give us an update on what we're doing.
Okay, that road, in case people don't know, we're talking about, it's a gravel road that goes from Ridgepole Estates out to a county road below the rock quarry. It has been used in the past when Highway 246 was blocked. It's kind of the only way out from the south side of Mud Creek if there was a problem with Mud Creek. So we're looking at, that road is in pretty bad shape. It's been washed out. We're looking at trying to get that upgraded. Part of the problem is the city does not own that road, and Doug, I think, is working on that. And then Mike Commons and I were going to sort of ride it and look it over and get some thoughts on it. But unfortunately, with the high winds last week, we had a large pine tree fall across the road, and it's currently blocked right now. So we really can't get down through there. But the road has been neglected over the years because the city doesn't own it, so the city didn't really maintain it. And the ditch lines have grown up with trees, which is a major problem. And until those ditch lines are repaired, the road will never be able to be maintained properly. I have had a conversation with Darren Giles, the county commissioner, and his background is in road building and paving. He had a paving company at one time, and he has offered to come up and look at it, give suggestions, and offer whatever assistance the county can to upgrade that road. But his schedule has been where we have just not gotten together to do that. But I think the issue, one of the main issues, is we don't own the road. We don't own the access to get to the paved road until we get some easements for that. We probably don't want to spend a lot of money until we know that we're going to be able to actually use that road. But that's where we are right now. We've got to get the big tree across the road, get that removed, and then hopefully get Darren Giles and Mike and I to look it over.
Moody, I think I heard it fall.
Oh, did you? It was a pretty good sized pine tree.
Yeah. Mr. Kidd, did you need to make any comments about the easement and so forth on this project?
On the emergency road?
Yes, sir.
I think that Ella sent over today the names and addresses of the property owners. I have a letter that I would like to send out to them, just explaining the city's position, and then have them, they can either call me or call you or call Ella, depending on what y'all want to do. And then we can just kind of get a dialogue going and see if we can work out an agreement with those property owners to have an emergency easement.
How many properties are we talking about?
I think that Ella may know that.
It's 10. It's
10?
It's
Okay.
10. It's 10 or 11. Yeah, probably if we could get some comments from each one, we'll know if we're gonna have the easements to be able to do anything with the road, because we're gonna need all of them to do anything.
Okay. Any other questions about that? Moody, you have anything else you need to say?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you.
think
Thank
we're-
you for looking into all this, and I'm sorry about the tree blockage. Okay, our next item is city-owned lots, title searches. Ella, you want to talk a little bit about this and then let Doug talk about
Yeah,
it?
this is something that we've been tackling, I believe, Doug, now for almost a year. We've been talking about, we've got several lots that the city owns that we're not going to be able to utilize. And we'd like to put these out for bid. But the first thing that we need to do is do some title searches. We found out by tax records that some of these had tax liens on them that had not been cleared. So we need, before we place them out for bid, we need to get those thoroughly checked out and have a clear title on them before we put them up for sale. Doug, I do believe you have the information on the lots, do you not? I think we've already given you that. And I know right now you can't do any title searches anyway because the courthouse is closed.
That is, I actually called up there, and they're letting limited people come up there, but you have to set an appointment. And so I can try to do that in the next week or two, if I can get in line to get an appointment to come in there and look at the title. But yeah, as of right now, they're not just letting people come in and out to do that. But I can do it whenever it reopens.
I thought that was the way it was going with them now.
Yeah.
How many lots are we talking about, Ella?
I think it's, I believe it's actually down to 8 because some of the lots that are listed are where we have wells located, and we certainly can't sell those. And I believe there was a couple of them that I had been requested to pull out. So that we need to confirm once he gets all these title searches done, then I'll do another map that shows what we have and send it to you all, and then we can move forward, because the previous council actually had already approved for us to put these out for bid, so we can move forward with that once
Are
we get
these
these
lots
title
adjacent?
searches.
Are these adjacent lots, or are they just in 8 separate places?
They're all over. They're scattered throughout the city. They are. There's no definite area where they're located. Some of them are there. You may have 2 side by side, and then you may have one that's by somebody's house. My understanding is that some of the property owners, that if they're adjacent to their property, they more than likely would be interested in purchasing the lots.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the council? Discussions? All right, then let's move. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to comment on this committee structure. I think, having observed a couple of these meetings and having participated with Bruce on one committee, that this committee structure is going to be a real force multiplier for the city council. There's only so much that 5 people can do, and everybody's involved with this effort, of course. But the idea that we can have other qualified people contributing, that we can reach out institutionally to other members of the community who are willing to serve on these committees, I think that just means we're going to be more connected to the people, we're going to be more connected to expertise, and that we're going to be able to get more things done that will benefit Sky Valley. So thank you very much for that vision. Thank you very much for making sure that we are safe during COVID-19, but that we're also managing to get other city business done despite being preoccupied with COVID-19. So thank you, Holly.
Well, you're welcome, and thanks to everybody for participating. This is going to be hard work, but it certainly is going to benefit our city, and I'm looking forward to all the good stuff that will happen. Thank you, Jim. All right, now we are on to public forum and general comments. Ella, do we have any that we need?
Let's see, I think Carla had put something. She's asking about the quarterly reports and different things about that. I'll touch base with her today and go over that with her according to what's on the state website.
Okay. Any other comments?
No, that's all I see.
Okay. I want to thank everybody for participating in this meeting, and I hope that you all will participate in next Tuesday, our council meeting. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion, Madam Mayor.
Bruce has made the motion. A second?
Holly, I see. I just pushed on a button down at the bottom of my screen for chat, and it looked like there were 14 items on that.
They were answered except for the last one.
Yeah, except for the last one, the bear activity location. I can't remember exactly. I think it was somewhere off from McClure, and we've not had any recent activity.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Second.
Second by Bill. Discussion? All in favor, say aye and raise your left hand.
Left.
Aye.
Thank you all. Thank you all. And please, everybody stay safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.